I'm now going to draw a plant cell, but please be aware that I'm now only going to draw the differences to animal cells. And so this is not a complete drawing of a plant cell, and you should have watched the drawing of an animal cell first. And the reason why I'm only showing the differences is for the sake of keeping the video a little bit short. However, there's one thing that both plant and animal cells have in common, and that is the cell membrane. And this one I am going to draw. Whoops, this is not so nice over here. But you see that it's slightly more rectangular in shape. I'm not saying that plant cells are more rectangular, just want to imply that they have a more rigid shape. So this is the plasma membrane or the cell membrane, and surrounding the cell membrane you have a relatively thick cell wall. So and now this gives me another problem, because it looks like I'm drawing a second membrane around here. And what I would like to ask you to do in your notebook is not just simply draw a line, but maybe actually color it in. So the whole thing over here, do not draw lines like this, but actually give it a smooth smooth and continuous color. I cannot draw a smooth continuous color right now on my computer, on the graphics tablet. That is the thing. Okay, so this over here, the whole thing is the cell wall, and this is the first important difference. So I am going to label this one over here, the cell wall. I'm going to write a number 1 over here. That's the first difference. Inside here we have the cytoplasm. Also that is the same, but inside the cytoplasm, what we have is we have a relatively large, no, this is not a nucleus, this is the vacuole. And this is difference number 2. Plant cells have a permanent, relatively large and central vacuole, but animal cells also can have vacuoles, but they are of temporary nature and they're smaller. And the third important difference is inside the cytoplasm over here, we have so-called chloroplasts. And again, I'm drawing a membrane, and these are the so-called the thylakoid membranes inside a stack of membranes in here. And the chloroplast is important for photosynthesis, so that's the third difference. Chloroplast. It's the third difference. So, and what about the rest now? What about the nucleus, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi body, free ribosomes? Do we all have all of these? And we have them, but they're not shown here. So if you want to complete the drawing yourself, you should include over here in the cytoplasm. Okay, I gotta go around here a little bit. This is the nucleus, and filled with a nucleoplasm, a double membrane surrounding it, just like in the animal cell. Extending from the outer membrane, again you have over here, just like in the animal cell, you have the rough endoplasmic reticulum with the ribosomes on top. That's all the same. You also have mitochondria with the infolding of the inner membrane. In plant cells, you also have Golgi bodies. Stack of membranes over here. Okay, everything else is the same. There's one thing that they do not have, is they do not have so-called lysosomes. They do have vesicles which carry proteins, but there are certain types of vesicles which contain digestive enzymes, and these are called lysosomes, and plant cells do not have them. So maybe I'm going to do the following. I'm going to make a comparison table. No, I'm not going to make a complete comparison table, but you might want to make one. Differences between plant and animal cells. Okay, you have a plant cell, you have an animal cell, and you have a comparing criterion. And the thing is the following. Now be a little bit careful. If you say plant cells have chloroplasts and animal cells have mitochondria, then this is clearly wrong, because plant cells also have mitochondria over here. So you would probably want to do the following: the presence of a large central vacuole, plants yes, animals no. The second point would be the presence of a cell wall. Plants have a cell wall, animals do not have a cell wall. And the third one, the presence of chloroplasts. Plants do have a chloroplasts, animals do not. There is another interesting difference, for example, that plant cells do not have centrioles. So presence of centrioles, plants no, animals yes. So there are 4 important differences. Here I've only drawn 3. You know what I'm going to do? If just for the sake of completion, I'm just going to make a dotted place over here. This is not a structure. It should just symbolize over here there are no centrioles. And that is a difference, let's say, number 4. I personally would say that the presence of a cell wall, of a large central vacuole, and of chloroplasts are definitely the important ones. And for comparison, I would like to ask you to please also make a comparison table. But do not forget that at the beginning of a comparison table, here in the first column rather, you always have some kind of a comparing criterion. So this was basically it, and if they ask you to draw and label a plant cell, then please be careful that you give it a complete drawing and that you also completely label it. This one here is not completely labeled. Yeah, so that is, I just have labeled the differences. But when you draw a plant cell, make sure it is a complete drawing with all of the labels. So this was it.